Start of the draft. Hopes fulfilled. Dreams about to be crushed. Let's open those packs. Hello and welcome to the draft of Proto Kuala Lumpur 2008 with Rich Hagen, Bill Stark. You are about to look at the man who we will be following in the draft. It is in seat 3. It is none other than Johnny Magic, Mr. John Finkel. There you see him, one of the greatest names in Magic. He is looking through his first pack. Now, Bill, let's get a look, if we can, at the cards got there. It looks to me like he has got a Mole Drifter in that opening pack. Right at the front there, there's a Gold Meadow Stalwart, Elvish Branch Bender, but the Mole Drifter is staying right at the front. Is that a Brian Stoutarm there, second in?
It looks like his rare was a Brian Stoutarm. And the interesting thing about John this weekend, while most players have been pushing the aggressive strategies and the Kifkin decks and things like that, John has been sticking to his tried-and-true card advantage decks that try to grind people out over the turns. And it looks like he's going to stick with that, taking Mole Drifter as his first pick, which is generally credited as being one of the top commons to open. Taking it over the rare, taking it over possibly forcing Merfolk, which is generally not usually something you do in the first pick, taking it over the removal spell and Weed Strangle, and over some Kifkin cards.
All right, so they're shuffling up for pack 2. John is being fed by Mario Pascoli, the Italian champion, and he is passing to the Chinese Ming Shi. So here's pack 2, Fistful of Force. There he's looking at Caterwauling Boggart, Knucklebone Witch in black, Flamekin Spitfire, and what's he having a look at there? A couple of blue spells that he's interested in.
Moving some interesting cards to the front there. Deep Tread Marrow, not generally a second pick card, but if you're interested in going blue, if you're really that focused on drafting that type of deck, you never know what a guy like John might pick.
Yeah, and Wings of Velisfel, I mean, again, that's a nice combat trick, but it doesn't feel like an early pick particularly.
Yeah, he does have that Gold Meadow Harrier, which is a very popular and important aspect of the Kifkin decks. It's not only a one-drop, but it's also a way to force your creatures through later, so that might be something he's considering. He did push the Flamekin Spitfire up a little bit, which is another efficient elemental. It's a good way to gain some card advantage by making sure that you can kill your opponent while you're killing the creatures, but he's going to go with the 1/1, the Gold Meadow Harrier.
All right, so possibly a sign that he's going to head towards Kifkin. Aggressive decks, very popular. Here comes pack 3.
Summon the school right there on top.
Hello. And am I imagining things, or did he pass Drowner of Secrets in pack 1? I believe he did.
He did pass Drowner of Secrets in pack 1. That's something that might table, but it's also one of those things that people see third pick and generally take as a sign that Merfolk is open. So we'll see what he does with this Summon the School here, whether he's interested in doing something like that. It looks like he is, yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And potentially, with the fact that Drowner of Secrets is a card that has gone down in value with the addition of Morningtide, he may even hope that Drowner of Secrets comes back to him when it wheels the whole table and he can get it pick 9.
Yeah, a lot of players I spoke to this weekend said that Merfolk was one of the tribes that lost a little value with that Morningtide pack because it doesn't have Silver Gill Dowsers in the pack 3, Stony Brook Anglers, Judge of Currents, a lot of those cards. However, if that means players are going to shy away from that archetype, it actually maybe makes it a stronger archetype if you're able to get all the cards and corner the market on that in the first pack.
All right, so here we go again. Rune Stalactite, Broken Ambitions. There's a Senzer if he wants to go heavily Kifkin. Next snap, bit of removal.
Pestermite's a real strong pick there, yeah, Pestermite.
Yeah, also, particularly for a really strong player, I mean, Pestermite is the kind of card that for an average player is just nice and is generally used. You go, well, in your opponent's turn, I'll tap down one of your attackers, and that's a perfectly fine trick, and it's a 2/1 body. But at this level, Pestermite's the kind of thing you can do incredible things with, because the pro will say, oh, I've got Brigid, Hero of Kinsbell, and I'll tap that, then I'll make Pestermite, I'll untap it, I'll do it again, I'll shoot your team. We saw Raphael Levy essentially go out of the tournament to precisely that combination of Brigid and Pestermite.
Ooh, there's a Changeling here sitting in that pack. That's got to be exciting when you're looking at going white.
Although,
he's going to take the Avian Changeling, also a good pick.
Now, is that all about tempo and the idea of curve, that he wants a 3-drop and the 5-drop, the life gain? He's not looking at many things up there?
It could be. It's tough to tell. There's always a risk when you're championing a creature with the Changeling hero that you're going to lose. They're going to have a removal spell, and you might wind up 2-for-1ing yourself. But it's hard to tell whether he's drafting for curve until we see what happens as the packs develop and get a closer look at what he manages to put together.
Now, Kinsbell Balloonist in the next pack, that's a really key component of the white decks, because when you start running out of gas, that's the card that says, you know what, my little 2/2 Senzer, my 3/3 Senzer, suddenly it's got wings and it's coming over for the win.
Yep, it allows you to provide a little bit of element of reach to your Kithkin deck. There is an Ethereal Whiskergill in that pack, which is not terrible, but he takes a Paperfin Rascal, and it looks like he's going to move into Merfolk relatively heavily to take a card like that so early on.
All right, now does that mean that he is planning on seeing the Drowner again?
It may be something that he's hoping to see table. You can't always tell for certain whether he's expecting that to be back, whether he's got a read on the players and assumes that it's not going to be there. This pack, it's a little short on blue cards. He's going to take the Ponder, which is fine. There's a lot of green and red in there for whoever he's passing to.
Yeah, come to that, it's a pretty weak pack, period. I mean, yeah, right, there weren't many blue cards. There weren't many any cards.
Sure. But you get packs like that where, there were only 2 cards to begin with, and one of the other players at the table is blue. By the time you get it, there's, 1 card left. That happens, and it's not something that you necessarily need to be concerned about so early on in the draft. John got a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Not giving any information away.
All right, so on we go. They're passing the pack. Ming Shi being quite deliberate about things.
Players watching at home don't realize that all these packs have been pre-opened by judges to make sure that there are no missing cards, there's no errors in the print run, anything like that. So these packs are pre-approved.
And, of course, they take the foils out as well.
And the tokens and the informational cards.
So Kinsbell Skirmisher, or if he wants to go with the Merfolk idea, Wellgabber Apothecary, which is a pretty clunky card.
It is.
And there we go, he takes the Skirmisher.
Takes the Skirmisher. Yep, Apothecary is usually one of the cards in the Merfolk deck that you want maybe one of, and you can usually pick them up pretty late, even in that second pack.
Oh, for sure, because it's not a card that really does a lot in any other archetype than the blue-white.
Sure.
Next pack, and what have we got here? Lowland Oath, the Gold Meadow Steward. Yes, now that's come back, so that's kind of good news. He'll be probably, yes, he goes for that, surely.
Yep, I talked to a few players yesterday, Paul Chion in particular, who was complaining against playing against Nikolai Herzog, said the guy had Gold Medal Stalwart every single time on his first turn. It's one of the top creatures to have in that Kithkin archetype to get a jump on the tempo against your opponent. Of course, Amiiboy Changeling also help him out with the Merfolk, but it looks like he's going to take the 2/2.
Yep. So we're pretty solidly heading towards some kind of blue-white affair, aren't we, at the moment? So Gold Meadow, dodge it, but that's not the value.
No, that's definitely not the value. A lot of black cards in that pack. We can't tell if they're all good. It looks like there's a Nectar Fairy and a Knucklebone Witch, Hornet Harasser. So it looks like the black's pretty strong. But looks like we've got a Kinsbale Skirmisher. Yep, that's an excellent late pick for John to pick up there before he passes the card. Let's see what's going as he rounds. Ooh, Sin's Heir and Tideshaper Mystic. That's going to be a tough choice. Could go either way on those. If he's going to stick with the Kithkin deck, he'll take the Heir. Looking at the Rune Stalactite too. Okay, takes the Sens there. Yep, it looks like we're going to move towards the Kithkin deck with John. Oh, man, he is getting that Kithkin stuff coming late. Those are some late picks that are just perfect for him.
Yeah, Lairwatch Giant, he doesn't take, he says, there's no way I'm playing a 5-3 for 6. That guy is not a good monster.
Nope.
All right, we are closing in on the end of Pack 1. They get a minute to review, and that means, Bill, you get a minute to review. Tell us what John's got, then.
John looks like he's got some solid opens. If he read quickly that Kithkin archetype was going to be open, and boy did the cards come late for him. Kinsbale Skirmisher, for folks watching at home, is the 2/2 bear that gives +1/+1 to a creature when it comes into play. Doesn't necessarily seem like an excellent pick to get really excited about, but when you're drafting the Kithkin archetype and you're just simply looking to get in on the ground as quickly as you can, that's exactly the type of body you want on turn 2, particularly if you open with Gold Meadow Harrier.
Yeah, especially, and not just Gold Meadow Harrier, because from Morningtide you've got cards like Sense Tactician. You're going to actually want to put a 1-drop out there, and then your 2-drop Skirmisher means you can hit for 2. Now, a very important piece of information from our 5-time Pro Tour Top 8 man on the floor, Scott Johns, is that next to John Finkel in seat 4, the Chinese guy, Ming Shi, he took the Drowner of Secrets pick 2, and he picked up another Drowner of Secrets in his opening pack. So he is drafting the Merfolk deck. So John will not be using that Paperfin Rascal and Summon the School. Can you imagine what Ming Shi would have done with Summon the School to go with the pair of Drowner of Secrets?
And we may see him use those cards eventually without actually necessarily putting a Merfolk deck together. Time will tell. Ooh, there's a Weisenson. That's exactly the type of card you're looking to open if you're in the Kithkin deck.
Yes, thank you so much. Another Balloonist, Firebelly Changeling. if he wants to add some red along the way. But Wizensen, first pick.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Wizensen's a card that has really changed value with Morningtide, because you used to find if you were drafting Kithkin in triple,